there was life before Wonderland, and I've always been curious, what were you doing with career-wise before Wonderland, and then kind of introduce us to how Wonderland materialized?
Sure, and we probably should have watched the video first because I talk a little bit about that, so I don't want to be redundant, but you will see in the video that we show, before I did Wonderland, I worked for Big Bear Markets. It was a grocery store here in San Diego, 25 stores, owned by a family, John and Betty Mabey. They're a big horse racing family, and so they had Big Bear Markets, and as Food for Less and Ralph's and Albertsons all came into town, they decided they're going to sell their stores. And they had 2 gourmet stores, one in La Jolla, one in Rancho Santa Fe. I was the manager at the one in La Jolla. And we were right next door to Vaughn's, which is amazing in itself because we had carpet in the aisles at Jonathan's, everything was marked 40% more, and the store was packed. When you could go literally a stone's throw away and get it for 40% less at Vaughn's. But they just wanted the quality, they wanted the service, they wanted everything. I get laid off from there. As I was getting laid off, I started to talk to people coming through the store with their salsa and their spaghetti sauce and their different products. I say, how'd you do that? What did you do? And I ended up starting my own company, making chocolate-covered frozen bananas out of my garage. And bicycles and surfboards and dirty laundry, and I started this company, and you'll see a little bit of it. I won't give it all away. That's better than hearing me yap about it. But so I do this, and then from there it has this. It takes a turn, and then I end up painting. After Banana, it was called Noah's Banana Chunks. After Banana Chunks dumps out, I end up painting. My lawyer says, "Hey, okay, we lost it. You'll see." So I ended up starting to paint, and then from painting, I did that for 2 years. I saw Hugh Hauser on TV, and if you ever watch KPBS, Hugh Hauser is an older gentleman. He has a show called California's Gold, and he goes up and down the coast, and he just talks to people. And I was like, wow, I've been in San Diego my whole life. My grandparents came in the 40s. We moved. They settled in Ocean Beach. I often kid them. I said, "Gosh, why didn't you guys, Grandma, you should have stopped in La Jolla. Why didn't we stop at OB? I'm on an island right now." But I grew up in Ocean Beach. My whole life I was there, and I thought, I've been in San Diego my whole life. I'm going to make a little documentary on San Diego. And so I did that. I got my camera and I went out down to OB and I interviewed some hippies, and I had a burger at Hodad's, and I made this little show, and I pitched it around town, and everybody called me back and they said, "It's great, we do Everybody Loves Raymond. We don't do shows like this, but KPBS said yes, we do. We like it. Let's run it and see if anybody else likes it." So they ran it, and I got a really good Nielsen rating, and they said, "Do another one." So I said, "Okay, I'll do another." So I did another one on Ocean Beach. And they said, "All right, how about you give us 1 new episode every month?" So I would shoot, edit everything. I'd have my son or whoever, my friends, help me film, and friends would give me music. And I started giving them 1 new episode every month. And then after a year, they said, "How about if we do this? We'll give you a little crew, we'll shoot it all in high def, kind of kick it up a little bit." And now it's been 4 years, actually. So I've done 1 new episode every month. And the thing that I love, what I love, and you'll see again in this little clip that I brought, is I love to go in behind the scenes of all your businesses. And I did an interview with Ralph Rubio, and I said, "Tell me, how did it start?" Because sometimes we look at these people and we're like, "Man, how did he ever do it?" And he said, "I opened my first fish taco place, right over here at Mission Beach." And he said, "I put a bell on the front desk." And I'm like, "Well, what's with the bell? Service?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "Because it was so slow, I'd go to the back room, I'd fall asleep." He said, and somebody, ding, he said, "I'd get up, I'd come to the front, they'd order 1 fish taco." He goes, "I'd make a fish taco, I'd give it to him." He said, "I'd go back and sleep for 2 hours." He said, "Nobody," and now it's 5 states, 157 locations, and he just sold out for like $90 million. And I was like, man, I love that. I love those stories. The mom and pops are the backbone of our life. We have these big companies, but it's the fight, and so I get to go, and not only do I talk about the history of a neighborhood, but I get to go in and meet wonderful people and find out. I love business. And I go, man, okay, I'm in Little Italy. Where am I going to go? I go talk to Karen Krasny, started Extraordinary Desserts, and how she started from nothing. And she got money from her parents and said, "I'm going to open a coffee shop and just sell pastries." And they're like, you're stupid, you're crazy, are you kidding me? She says there was 2 in all of San Diego County when she started in like 1981. And now she says there's 600 in San Diego. And I was like, wow, you know, you're a genius. And so it's cool for me to go and expose these stories, you know.
After, I mean, you've got many episodes to come, but so far, if you couldn't live in OB,
Yeah.
where would you live? What's your favorite place you've discovered so far?
Oh gosh, you know what's funny is living by the beach my whole life. You're bred with this. You know, there's no life past I-5, right? Like, I'm doing an episode. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do Lakeside. Anybody live in Lakeside? All right, we can talk. I go, I'm gonna do Lakeside, and I'm like, gosh, because they said, where are you gonna go next? And I'm like, OB. And then they're like, where are you gonna go next? I go, I'm gonna go to Point Loma. And they're like, wow, you're really stretching. And I'm like, okay. So then I did Julian, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna take the challenge. I'm gonna do Lakeside. And I got out to Lakeside, and I was like, wow, this place is. I went to Van Omering Dairy, and he has 500 heads of cattle, and you know they all have water beds. I'm like, your cows? Yeah, every one of them have water beds. And he says, all this whole area right here. He says, all these cows right here are ready to have a baby. He says, we have 1 new calf every day here. He goes, hang out, we're probably going to have one. And I was like, whoa. And then down the street, I went to this chicken farm. And I went to this Lindo Lake in Lakeside back in the 20s. This guy, Barney Oldfield, did the land speed record around Lindo Lake, 60 miles an hour. And I was like, wow. And I went to this 100-year-old church with the same pews and the same organ. And then Joan Embry, right? Remember Joan Embry? She got her ranch in Lakeside. And I went and met her, and there's cows and elephants and stuff. And I was like, Lakeside is pretty cool. And I think when we get this mindset of, man, it's all about the beach, or man, it's all about our little neck of the woods, and as we spread out, you see different parts of the town. I go, oh, you know, La Mesa's pretty cool. I like the little village of La Mesa. But, you know, for me, OB is it. Probably just because I've been there, you know, I go there and I just feel like I'm in my element, you know. It's like, yeah, he's, you know, peeing in the bushes, or yeah, just blowing up over here, but I just feel at home. It's weird, I know. But yeah, you know, La Jolla, go to Coronado. Coronado's not even real. It's like there's no trash in the gutters, there's no dirt in there. I love it. No bombs in the streets. Like, this place is like Disneyland, you know. I love Coronado. You walk to the Hotel Del and it feels like you're on the Titanic. It's just old and beautiful, and the history, and it's great, you know. It's a great thing. So yeah.
One of the themes in your show is food.
Yeah.
And you know, who watches the show? I'm going to put Noah on the spot. So
That's
you know Noah's signature move when he likes a meal, right?
I gotta shake my head.
All right. Other than players, of course, since we're in a wonderful sports bar serving delicious food today, give us some tips on some of the hot spots to eat that you discovered.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah, people, they go, how do you eat all that food? And it's editing, right? We show the food, I take a bite, it's good, we move on. You know, I don't eat like this big table of food, and my crew sits down and we all eat, and it's good. But there's so many, again, the restaurants. And here's the other thing too, is I think we can do this for business too, is there's so many different restaurants in San Diego. You want Italian, you go down to Little Italy. You can go downtown. You can go, there's just great places for Italian food. You know, anything you want. You want a great burger? There's tons of great burgers. I did this episode, Great Cheeseburgers in San Diego. And like one of my favorite burgers was this dive place in PB that is right there. What's the name of it?
Rockies.
Rockies. Great burgers. Hodad's the best. It's an OB. But Rockies are really good. And I was like, I've driven by that place off of Garnett 100,000,000 times and thought, what a dumpy dive. Like, who would go in there, you know? So then I do the show and I go in there and I was like, wow, this is the best cheeseburgers in town. I mean, really, you know? And I'm like, what do you put in it? And they're like, nothing. It's just meat, you know? And it's really cool. That place is the Cash Cow. Well, there's all these restaurants around town, and I feel like there's nobody to expose these. There's no restaurant shows on TV. We've had, you know, the unknown eater that won't even show his face, and he'll go in and he'll bag on a place, or it's great, whatever. We got Larry Himmel that, you know, we'll jump in here or there, or, you know, Ken Kramer, I don't know. We have little things here and there, and I feel like there's so much opportunity, not only for a show that is it's called, I'm starting to work on, it's called San Diego Dining, and it's just about restaurants. And it's not just about the food, it's about the story behind it, who owns it, how they started, why they're here. It doesn't have to be David Cohn and his family, and they own 15 restaurants, which is an amazing story, and it needs to be talked about, but it's the players, you know, it's the little mom and pops or whatever, these people that are struggling, and they have great food. And I feel it's the same way with the business community. There's so many great, as I was listening to everybody talking, and all the stories and all the businesses, each one of them has a story. And I was like, man, that could be, I could see me, you know, making signs with her or something, and we could talk and we could do this or that, or we could, you know, talk about each one of the businesses, cleaning carpets or going through, you don't realize, you know, how much work and everybody does. It could be a whole show. We're going to see a clip of the entrepreneur show that I did on just local entrepreneurs. 26 minutes, I covered like 4 people, and that was it. But I feel like there could be a show, and I would say, if I was asking for anything of you all today, is think about it a little bit. A show that's we just cover people and their businesses. Forget history and all this other stuff. Let's just talk business, you know. San Diego, making it in San Diego or something, you know. It could be a whole nother show. The problem with programming like that today is that nobody wants to pay for it. So, and if you watch TV on the weekends, it's all the Jinsu knives, this, that, all these paid programming, they call it, because nobody wants to produce local programming because it's too expensive. They've got to not only pay Larry Himmel, they got to sell the advertising, they got to get a camera guy out there, and they got to shoot, and edit, and it's very expensive. Paid programming, they call it the crack cocaine of the industry. These companies, they pay $6 grand, give us the half-hour slot, and everybody takes the money, it's all done, everybody's good. There's no thought process. Well, we kind of lose out on all these wonderful things, and all these great businesses. And so to produce a show, we need some sponsorship. We need somebody to get behind us, an organization. So for instance, for the dining out, it's the California Restaurant Association. They said, hey, we'll get behind it. It's all a bunch of locals like this. Everybody says, yeah, we want to do it. And we want to, let's cover our businesses. And I think there's so much opportunity, and we're just kind of missing. TV's powerful. You know, and to be able to have somebody come in that's not you, it's not a commercial going, this is my business and I clean carpets and I'm the best carpet cleaner. As a viewer, you go, yeah, sure you are, bragger, you know, whatever. But it's another guy that's in there going, man, you are the best. I love your food. This is great. Man, you guys do good work, or whatever. And then we go, oh, wow. So it's like a brag little fest on your business through somebody else, you know. And keeping the integrity of it. I'm never going to say I love the food when I'm going, oh, this is great. I always check things out. I always look through the businesses. I always make sure everybody's cool for me, right? For me. And then you realize when you do something for you that you like, is this job going to be quality enough for you? Well, then it's good enough for somebody else. You'll be surprised how many people like what you like. You know, as I cover things, I'm like, you know, I realize that people, we all have, you know, quality that we like. So,
well, I appreciate you answering the questions. I'm going to turn you loose on your students here.
Okay.
And do you want me to hit the video?
Sure. Why don't we watch it? Something like 6 minutes long. We'll just watch a little video, and then any questions or anything, or whatever, we'll.
Man, I love this place. Because we get so busy, we don't take the time to experience everything this place has to offer.
Whoa, what does that mean? What do I do? Just drop it down? Just a half. Are we putting like special stuff on? Actually, if I didn't have jeans on, I probably couldn't go all the way down. Whoa. Ow. I'm nervous. Cool. I hit that thing. Yeah. Let me try some of that. You gotta get kind of Picasso with it. I can feel my lungs closing up. Yeah, is it always like to help me put this on?
And then loser does the shit.
Okay.
My name is Noah. Come with me and let's explore a little bit. My hometown, San Diego. Over the years, we've all heard it at least once. If you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your front door. The new idea, or to be in business for yourself, is the promise of riches to come. And why not? It's the American dream. To achieve your American dream, you have to be ready, because the inspiration for it all could come at any time. My great idea came to me during a trip to Disneyland. I noticed everyone eating chocolate-covered frozen bananas. I also noticed how hard it was to bite into them, so I decided to make mine bite-sized like a bonbon. It was in my garage where I began testing and perfecting my new product. which was gonna, of course, take the world by storm. Displayed in a Ben & Jerry's type container, I named my product Noah's Banana Chunks. It was cool. I had my office in the garage, and from the house, I would make deliveries to all the local markets in my truck. I couldn't have been happier. Why? I was in business for myself. As sales of Noah's Banana Chunks took off, I outgrew the garage. So I moved into a warehouse, hired a few employees, and began freezing my bananas with liquid nitrogen, which was an experience all in itself. Nevertheless, we were growing. I didn't have money for advertising, but I was able to scrape together enough for a nice banana suit. Banana Man hit the street, and sales began to take off. I even got into Costco. To get to the next level, I contacted Chiquita for a joint venture. You know, their name and big money, my product. On a handshake, we entered into an agreement to produce banana chunks together. Trusting them was probably not the best idea, because after a year's worth of working towards our goal, Chiquita just did it without me. Total bummer. Sure, I fought them. Even went to Cincinnati, Ohio to their headquarters. Their building was at least 50 stories high. But when you're a little guy going up against a big company like Chiquita, you don't get very far. So, back home to San Diego I went to wait for my next great idea to hit me. Ever since my experience in the business world, I've gained a deep appreciation for entrepreneurs and small business owners alike. It takes a lot of guts and hard work to step out and do your own thing. And there's nothing more I love than a great mom and pop success story, like this one. Meet Anna and Dick Van Ransom Magana. You think their name's a mouthful? Wait till you get a load of their business. They're the owners of Mariposa Homemade Ice Cream. Ice cream's nothing new for Dick and Anna. In fact, it was way back on the dairy farm when Dick's grandpa Pete taught him how to make ice cream, the old-fashioned way, from scratch.
Overnight, the cream all rises to the top. People today don't remember when you went to the store and bought milk and there was about that much cream on the top. But the cream all rises to the top, so Grandpa would take a dipper and dip down in there and get milk and throw it in the bucket. Get some cream and throw it in the bucket and stir it up and taste it. Needs more cream, you put more cream in there. On a dairy farm, everybody on the family farm has a job to do. And I never minded turning the crank because after I got through, I got to lick his paddle. So Grandpa Pete taught me how to make ice cream, and my brothers and sisters, they all learned how to do other things.
Eventually, Dick left the farm and made his way west to Mariposa, California. After years of working different jobs, he had a revelation.
I was a craftsperson, and I was at a fair, and I was thinking, not making many sales, I said, everybody's walking around with something in their mouth. I had to have a food item. I said, wait a minute, I got Grandpa's ice cream recipes. So I got out the old crank, and I cranked it for a couple of weeks, and took the ice cream out and sold it all in one day, and I said, okay, this is it. This is what we're going to do.
Now here's the best part. Dick meets Anna in Mesa, Arizona. They fall in love and decide to move back to Anna's hometown of San Diego and open Mariposa Homemade Ice Cream. How lucky for us. Now, for the past decade, they've been in the same location in the neighborhood of Normal Heights, serving some of the best ice cream you've ever had. Trust me, I've tried pretty much everything they make.
All our ice cream is 1/3 less sugar, half the air, no eggs and nothing artificial. That's our mint chip. Now that's a unique flavor because when we make mint chip, you notice it's not green, but it tastes green. It's actually cream to mint. So we heat the cream to mint to dissipate the alcohol, the white cream to mint, and then we use the essence to make the ice cream.
Oh, that's good. It was cool. After my taste test, Dick offered to show me how it's all done. Today, we were making banana walnut ice cream. We started out by peeling a bunch of ripe bananas and blending them with a fresh cream mixture. Dick said they haven't deviated much from the way Grandpa Pete used to do it back on the farm. The fancy new equipment just makes it a little easier. Minutes later, the ice cream comes out the consistency of a thick milkshake, and it's time to mix in the walnuts. I couldn't help but take a big spoonful. It was delicious. In fact, it was so good. Open the hopper and enjoy a little bit more. business looks so easy. But Dick said, sometimes things aren't always as they seem.
People think going into business is easy, going into business is not easy. When we opened up here 8 years ago, we had many, many, many days that were $25 days and $75 days on Saturdays and Sundays, and we had to continue to go out and do festivals, special events, and get the money to pay the rent.
Their dedication has paid off, and now people come from miles around to try their all-natural ice cream, just like Grandpa Pete used to make. My time at Mariposa was great. Dick and Anna showed me some of the cool wall hangings they've collected over the years, which included a few posters of the Beatles. Anna's a big fan. Then Dick even broke out Grandpa Pete's original ice cream maker. Production sure has come a long way since then. As I said goodbye, I couldn't help but think about what Dick said. He said, entrepreneurship is not something you learn. It's something that's in your heart. And when you're doing what you love, people know it. I have to agree.
So, can you hear me?
Yep.
This is what I love. This is what I love about what I do. Not just the ice cream, like just feeling it went all in my ears and everything. It was so bad. It's back here. She says, what was your name?
Julie.
Julie. She says, that's right over by my house, and I never knew it was there. And I said, you know what? That is, I've heard that so many times about my shows over the years, as people go, I never knew that. I did this bakery over in Port Loma. He's been there for 45 years. And I went in there, and he says, right after the show, I always bring DVD copies and everything, and just to get some feedback, find out, and he says, this woman's lived right around the corner from me for like 20 years and never knew I was here. He goes, I've been here 45 years. And I was like, wow, amazing, amazing. But as you can see, that's kind of like, that's the stories of San Diego. Dick, I went back to see him. I go back, and he's just so, just the nicest people, And he says, what do you think? And it hasn't changed from that, right? And I'm walking his place, I go, yeah, everything looks great. What do you mean, what do you think? I'm thinking, what do you mean, what I think? And he goes, can you feel it? And I go, feel what? And he goes, the air conditioning. I go, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, it's kind of nice in here. It's over the summertime. He goes, no. He goes, after it ran, he goes, we have had so many customers. He says, I was able to buy air conditioning. I go, you're so full of it. Come on, man. He goes, I'm serious. He says, I'm serious. And I go, wow, that's cool. That's the power of, I used to think like, why does Coca-Cola or Budweiser or whatever advertise, $1 million for a 60-second spot during the Super Bowl? Because they have to, right? Banana chunks, when I did the bananas, it was great. I got into the stadium and Costco and Ralph's and everywhere. I was all over the county, just in the county. I had like 300 stores. And I was like, great, I should be on my island in about 2 weeks. I'm done. And it was nothing. Sales were flat. I was there, but nobody knew it. Somebody said something to me, it was a quote, I'm sure you've all heard it because I've heard it and seen it written before. Advertising, if you're not advertising, it's like making faces in the dark. You know what you're doing, but nobody else does, right? And I was like, all my product is there on the shelf. Nobody knew it was there. It was advertising. And so that's why now when I do my show, I cover the history, and you got to do that kind of stuff. That's what Wonderland's all about. It's about the neighborhoods. But I can't wait to find a little business. Somebody that's out there just plugging away like I was in my little garage or in my little factory off of Miramar Road, just, needing just a little more exposure. Just somebody just to give me a pat on the back to tell me, hey man, you're doing a great job, and that's what it's all about. That's how it is. I love seeing how you guys are here to help each other. Man, that's so cool. I wish when I had banana chunks, I wish I had this. You guys are probably going, I just didn't know about it. And, nowadays we got the internet. I was looking for Belgian chocolate. Nowadays you punch in Belgian chocolate, 50 million pages of Belgian chocolate. Then I was just, it was a struggle. But you guys have each other, and that's huge. Networking is huge today, right? It's not necessarily what you know. I do the best. I'm a great house salesman. I can sell. It's who you know. Who do you know that's buying a house, that's selling a house? Help me, So, anyways, questions? Anybody? Anything? Yes.
Do you have to look for sponsorship for every one of your episodes, or do you have like a consistent corporate sponsorship?
Yeah, what's cool about it is KPBS buys each episode from me, and then they say to sweeten the deal, we give you 30 seconds on the front and 30 seconds on the back of the show. So, in the 30 seconds on the front, it's Wonderland is brought to you in part by, Pacific Western Bank, serving San Diego. It's got to be FCC words. It can't be, You know, Pacific Bank, the best bank in San Diego, come down for a great interest rate now. You can't do any of that kind of stuff. But it has to be a very general announcement like that. But I break up my 30 seconds into 2 15 seconds. And that's all between me and whoever it is. And yeah, again, I don't go to people and go, hey, you've got to sign up for 6 months. You know, like they'll tell you when I was trying to do some stuff on KUSI, they're like, oh yeah, no problem. You got to buy, it's all in bulk. No, you got to buy 6 months worth. And, you know, and then we're going to charge you for the production of the piece that we're going to make for you, your little ad. And I'm like, man, I'm just a little guy trying to make it. And so what I do is I produce a spot. And then it airs. Hey, no, we're having a great month. Leave us on. We're having another great month. Leave us on. Guess what? You know, my in-laws are coming into town. I got to take them to Disneyland. I got no money, brother. Take me off. Okay, cool. You know, I'm off. So it's kind of nice. And now I've developed a relationship with Cox Channel 4, and their whole deal. This is again how programming is we don't pay for programming. We'll give you airspace, which is huge. I mean, that's huge. They're like, you produce it in high def? Yes. We'll give you airspace, and then we split the advertising time. And I go, oh, okay, cool. So with them, Cox is like, in a half-hour show, you have a 90-second break, you have a 60-second break, and you have a 90-second break. And we split that with Cox. So, you know, and it's all, and they have no rules. You know, they're Channel 4. You can say and do whatever you want, which is cool. And I just started a relationship with them. But, and like I was saying before, when I'm doing this show about dining out, you know, we get a sponsorship underneath it. I just did a show, and it's got to make sense. You know, I just did a show on tuna fishing. Not Wonderland, it's called Fishing from the Wreck. Old-time tuna fishing. These guys used to catch tuna with a pole. San Diego was the tuna capital of the world at one time, believe it or not. So I did this whole 1-hour episode on tuna fishing, and I went to Bumblebee right here in town. Bumblebee's a huge corporation right here in town. And I said, hey, I'm doing this. Would you guys want to sponsor it? And they said, yeah. In fact, he goes, which he did something that I never would have thought he would have done. He picked up the phone, and he goes, hey, Billy. Billy's at Starkiss. We're going to do this thing. I think it's good for the industry. Why don't you throw a little money our way? He called Chicken of the Sea, Starkiss, and the American Tuna Boat Association. And everybody threw in a little bit of money, and they had this great, nice show about tuna fishing. Not showing dolphins dying and all the crazy things that we've all seen, right? Just on the history of these guys. And it was great. Everybody's working together for the good. So, it's all good. But yes, ma'am.
Would you like us to recommend small businesses to you that we think have a fantastic story?
Yeah, you know what? On my website, I always say where I'm going. I should say I'm starting. I've just begun this. Where I'm going next. Right now, I just got done shooting an episode in Escondido. Anybody live in Escondido? All right, we can talk. Oh, never mind. I love Escondido. It was great. Everybody's related. Escondido was cool. But I just got done shooting in Escondido. It's great. You know, after that, I'm going to Hillcrest. That'll be another episode. I'm sure it'll be interesting. And where? Ramona. Yeah, I want to get to Ramona. Is great. Just take me so long to get out there, but I'm going to do it. It's got to be done.
Amazing history.
Amazing history. I saw something on Channel 4. They was talking about a turkey farm and all this other stuff, and I was like, I can do that better than him. You know, it was good, but it was some good history. But yeah, I haven't even begun. Let alone, you know, covered everything in San Diego. Forget it. So yeah, you can go on my website and say, hey, if you know, I see you're going to Ramona. You got to check out this. You got to check out that. You got to check out that. It's almost like a referral thing. You know, and because I want to get the good stuff. There's going to be, everybody knows the Hotel Del, and everybody knows the, you know, but what's the good stuff in Coronado or wherever I'm going? You know, apply it to whatever.
What is the website?
It's Wonderland SD for San Diego. WonderlandSD.com. Yes. All right. Well, I appreciate your time.
Any other questions for Noah?
I
I'll wrap.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go
No,
for
I
it.
just have a comment. I wanted to thank you because my husband, who is Thomas, he saw your episode on the Sanctuary Spa, and he surprised me with it on our. Yeah, he surprised me on our
That episode
anniversary.
was just for you.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was
Good.
amazing.
Great, huh? Little hole in the wall, beautiful little place,
That's
right in
beautiful.
the beach. Drive by it a million times, never
Yeah.
know it was there.
Yeah.
And she's called me like just the nicest, you know. That's what I do. That's what I love to get is like people go thanks, you know. And I just want to help, you know. I just want to expose. I want to, you know, show like we trudge through every day. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you before as I'm done. Is think about this. How many of us knew our grandparents? I knew my grandparents. My parents split when I was 3. I moved in with Grandma and Grandpa in Ocean Beach. My dad's grandparents were on the other side of town. A lot of us knew our grandparents. How many of us knew our great-grandparents? A couple. That's actually pretty good. I knew my great-grandmother. She was only because she was 104. Blind as can be. She was in Texas, and she said, "Mijo, send me pictures." And I go, "Grandma, you can't see. You're blind. I don't care. Send me pictures." She ends up passing away, and I realized something. I realized I know nothing about my great-grandparents. And when I say nothing, I don't mean nothing. I mean nothing. I don't know what their jobs were in life. I don't know where they lived, when they moved, what their passions. I don't know her favorite color or any. I don't know anything. And my mom and dad are like, yeah, that's great. And then I think this. Okay, my grandparents. I lived with my grandparents. I know nothing about them. My grandfather was a painter. My grandmother was a waitress. Do I really know about them? And then I think this. Okay, I have a son. I'm going to know his kids, right? Grandpa, no, I'm going to know his kids. His kids. We don't even hardly know our great-grandparents. Some of us do, most of us do not. And I think, wow, in 2 generations, we are all but forgotten. I mean, gone, just like wiped out, gone. And I think every day we trudge through, we get up, we stress, we enjoy, we experience, and for what? You know, for what? And so we just got to enjoy it. We got to enjoy everything we have around us. Put a camera on yourself and just talk to the camera by yourself. For your kids, for something, for just legacy. We're all plugging through life, and I just say, you know, document it, have fun, enjoy life, and tell somebody, you know. But life goes by too fast. That's it. So thanks, Thomas.
Thank you. Let's give Noah a nice round of applause. He's got a lot of energy, yes? You see why I wanted him here.
Do you have a hard time talking to people?
You should come out of your shell a little bit.
You know, just listening to Noah talk, I had a couple of people ask me, well, how are you tying in his show with a business alliance group? But did you hear what he talked about? I heard networking, I heard testimonials, and I heard referrals. So it all comes back to that, which is what this BAG group and all the business alliance groups are based on. So for those of you that are visiting, we really appreciate you being here today. This was a special event. Again, Noah, thanks for being here. So check out Noah's show. It's fantastic. I came to San Diego 7 years ago, and I said to myself, how am I going to learn about San Diego outside of what a tourist knows? I'm responsible for knowing about San Diego. I'm a realtor. I found Noah's show, which was like a crash course on San Diego. I found the Chamber of Commerce, and I started meeting people, business owners, and it was a great combination. So thanks you guys for being here. We're going to close out the meeting.